Hi, this is Michael from MVR Music Lessons. This lesson, we are going to learn a few notes, and I don't know if we'll get to a song. We'll learn a few notes. Maybe the next video we'll do a short little song. But first we've got to go over bow hold. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the bow. It seems a little less important than it is. It's actually really important how you hold this. I'm going to set my violin down, and I'll get a little closer to the camera so you can see. What I'm doing is holding it like this. You want to get your thumb right in that little spot right there, just like that, and practice holding it up, not like this, because then you're putting all this pressure, unless you're holding it on this end too. I would just practice holding it up. You want your fingers to curl over naturally. You want your pinky not to be like that. You want it to rest on the end, but you still want it curved. You want a curved pinky. You don't want to have it like this. You want it curved. You want your thumb in right there. Your fingers resting over. This one kind of loose. These two supporting on right there. And that'll give you a lot of control over your bow. Now another thing, you want to have the bow hairs so that this wood still has a curve. Not a curve outwards, that would be bad. You want it curved inwards towards the string. The strings on the bow. And that was bad, by the way. You probably shouldn't touch the bow hair. This is a pretty old bow, so it doesn't matter that much anymore. I might get a new one soon. But yeah, don't touch the bow hair. You want to use rosin. I will get some rosin for you right now, and I'll show you what that is. It's still in my case. This is rosin. You want to take that, and all you do is run the bow across it. And this is a good way to practice your bow hold. Hold the rosin kind of at an angle, and just practice moving the bow back and forth. And by the way, if you weren't sure how to get this curved, you use this little pin on the back. You turn it clockwise to tighten it, but you don't want it too tight. You want it just about right there. You should be able to fit a pencil in between there. Maybe a big pencil. Mine's a little loose right now, but not too much. I'll tighten it a little bit, kind of show you what I mean. Yeah, you want it about right there. So, just a little more than a pencil's width right there. And anyways, back to the rosin. You want to go ahead and put a little bit of pressure on there. And if this is a brand new bow, it's never been rosin before, you're going to have to do this for a while, and it's still probably not going to sound that great. Because without rosin, this bow really does nothing. The rosin is what makes the bow able to get grip on the strings, to make the string vibrate and to give it sound. Otherwise, it's just like running a piece of paper over the string or something. It's not going to sound good. I'm going to go ahead and put the rosin up, and now that you kind of understand a little bit more about the bow, we're going to go into playing some notes on the violin. Now to start off, we're not going to use the bow. At the end of the video we'll try it, but right now you just want to hold your violin almost like a guitar and use your thumb to pick the string. And you want to pick it right above the fingerboard right here. Normally when you're bowing it's right there, so you don't want to get in the habit of thinking this is where you're supposed to play notes with your hand. But for right now, that's where you want to pick. That's where you get the best sound. Down there doesn't sound as good as towards the center. Now what we're going to learn is a finger pattern that looks like this. Right now you're going to ignore your last finger. These two fingers, they're going to go together. We're going to number our fingers 1, 2, and 3. This one's going to be 4, but we're not going to worry about 4th finger right now. So 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 are together. And now your first finger is going to be about an inch, maybe, yeah, about an inch away from the nut right here. This is called the nut, where the string goes over and into the tuning kind of area. This is the scroll. I'm just going to get some random vocab in here while we're doing this. So it should sound like this. You should play the open string, and then the next one should sound, if you know solfege, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, it should sound like do, re. Now you're going to take your middle finger, your second finger, and put it about the same distance your first finger is from the nut, up above that. So it should sound like this. Now, you're probably going to be pretty out of tune when you're first trying this, unless you're actually doing pretty well. I have no idea, but I know when I was first starting, it was really hard to get my fingers in tune. Each time it sounded different. One time I'd play that, one time I'd be up here. Sometimes I get it about right, but now I've just played it for so long, you just get used to having your fingers just naturally go into the right spot. So, now your third finger, you're going to put really close to your other finger, and that would be Do, Re, Mi, Fa. Now, the actual notes you're playing is D, E, F sharp, that's an F sharp, not F natural, we'll worry about that later, and G. Now, what we're going to do is remember where our fingers are, and by the way, it's probably a really good idea to remember what those notes are too, because we're going to get into some sheet music stuff later on. You're going to need to know what note is what finger, on what string, and all that. So when I'm saying a note, it's important, you need to remember that. But for right now, let's go ahead and put the violin up and let's get our bow. I'm going to take it, and we'll just do what we just did with our finger, only we're going to bow it. Now when you're bowing, you want your bow to be right in the middle between what is called the fingerboard and the bridge. The bridge is this wood piece that's holding the strings up in the middle. You want your bow right in between those two. Now, we're just going to play those notes we just learned. You don't want to push down really hard, but you want to put a little bit of pressure to get it to sound. And try to use from about right there on the bow. It's something called the balance point. Let me go over that real fast, actually. If you hold your bow, and you try to balance it, it's called the balance point. That's about where you want it to start. That's going to be used for a lot of technique later. So you want to start at about the balance point, right in the middle, and try to go almost to the tip. You don't want to use the entire bow just yet. So, let's try it. Just go up through the notes we've learned. And then back down. So just try that a few times, just get used to it. Try to do a little bit faster. After a while, your fingers will get used to doing that. On our next video, we will learn a song with those notes. That'll be fun. So, I'll see you there. Make sure you check out my website. I'll have the link in the description. And I hope you enjoyed this.